would have warned on but my initial findings when I watched a local replay to the Russian server suggest that it's kind of a little bit more aggressive. The Russians don't seem to be so afraid to make bold plays and just go in and go one versus one. And that high kind of risk-reward style gameplay can result in some of the most fantastic moves, but also it can result in some of the most frustrating moments when you're playing on the server yourself. There's just another player on the enemy team who wants to come straight towards you and take you out. It is a little different. It takes some getting used to. I would like to get back on the server, but I was doing that about a year ago, or maybe a year and a half ago now. Gosh, time flies. When Wargaming really had what I would call a content drought. I had all the vehicles unlocked, nothing more to grind for, but now Wargaming has seemed to just up the amount of standard vehicles as well as premium vehicles that are going into the game. We've got all of these new tier 10 light tanks to play for. I just finished getting the top 2 tier Swedish vehicles, the Stridsvagn 103B and the Grandvagn. So I feel like I'm always one step behind, and of course we had to go towards the Panzer 7 as well recently. There was so much grinding of my tier 9 tanks that I kind of forgot about playing on the North American and the Russian server altogether. Now, this is playing in this Rheinmetall Skorpion, as I mentioned. This vehicle, it was probably the first of the new era of premium tanks. Or you could also argue that the Mutz was the first of the new era of premium tanks. Now, what do I mean when I say new era? I'm suggesting where Wargaming truly decided to make premium vehicles just as good, if not arguably, and I don't think there is an argument in the case of some of them, just flat out better than their tier 8 counterparts. Now, I'm not here to discuss about the intricate details of that. I'm just highlighting that the Skorpion kind of caught a lot of us off guard, and myself included. I was just thinking, is this too good to be true? And back then, when the Skorpion was released, of course, some people were saying, oh, this tank is just too good. But we hadn't really had any premium tanks that were freely available apart from the lower tier tanks such as the E25 and some of the other filthy tanks like the Panzer G that could be so influential in the battle. And I think the Skorpion, it caught me by surprise. I was just too busy thinking about the opportunities to make a load of credits in this tank. Then the impact, the subsequent, just as powerful if not more powerful premiums would have on the matchmaker. So I picked up the Skorpion, I loved it. I thought it was probably the best tier 8 premium in the game when it was released, and it's still very strong, although it now obviously has a lot of competition, as the vehicle has been released for at least a year or so now. Well, probably just about a year thinking about it. I'm not entirely sure when the Rheinmetall Skorpion came out. I know that the new era started with the So, what's great about the Skorpion? Well, the Skorpion has gigantic alpha damage for a tier 8 premium, 490. I believe that's the highest on any premium tank thinking about it. I'm not sure if Wargaming are going to be putting any other kind of high tier premium tank destroyers in that have a bigger gun than this. This is the same gun that's on the Borsig, the Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger, and also on the Ferdinand, and also the Jagdpanther 2, if that's your kind of thing. Now, these 128mm just seem to put holes in your opponents, but of course, not against the T26E5. That was right up against the upper plate. I think he would have done better to shoot the side armor there of that Patriot variant. But with 246mm of penetration on your standard rounds and 311 on your APCR rounds, you really have the clout to be able to deal with anything. And even if you're in the worst possible matchmaking, such as this, where you're having to deal with multiple tier 10 tanks and multiple tier 9 tanks on the enemy team and 3-cell propelled guns, the Skorpion just seems to be very efficient. But I think the key trait of this vehicle is the fact that it's also quite fast, and furthermore, that it has a fully traversable turret that just makes it so flexible and able to use that flexibility. This tank destroyer just seems to be able to put the shots in, be able to, with its flexibility, and then fall back into safety before the enemies have had a chance. So with the shutdown on that lever, this game is starting to look rather rocky indeed. And there's a Jagdpanzer 100 coming up on his left. Oh, thank goodness the Jagdpanzer missed. Now remember that Jagdpanzer 100 has a terrible rate of fire. It might have all the alpha damage in the world. But the Skorpion, which fires just under 5 rounds a minute, possibly can reload a second time before the Jagdpanzer manages to get his second shell in. Wow, great result, showing you the difference in ideology between these two tank destroyers, investing all of your damage in a single shot to hopefully vanquish the enemy, or having a little bit more flexibility and a bit of rate of fire to be able to get another round out. Talk about getting another round out. Dis shuts down the Object 704 on the enemy team, already starting his collar ban onto medal, 10 for standing alone against at least 5 opponents. So now with 4 kills and 4,600 damage, you think that he's certainly changed the outcome of this game massively. He's given himself a chance. Now it looks like this is going to make his way towards the middle of the map, probably to try and shoot across here. But he does get spotted. Was it the Jagdpanzer 100? But he doesn't have time to worry as the Batchat 155-55 crests the ridge, but unable to depress the gun enough to shoot the Skorpion. This thing is very lightly armored indeed, with 30mm of frontal hull armor, and any high explosive round hitting this vehicle right now, even with the reduced penetration, is likely to be fatal. So no prizes for guessing where the Jagdpanzer 100 is right now. This is going to make his way towards the center of the map. I really like this play. You can get some really good vision along this part of the enemy through these archways here. Hopefully he can use the fact that, actually looking at it, he might not even be using, I think he's probably using coated optics, but his view range isn't quite up to that 445 meters maximum spotting. So I'm not sure if he doesn't have a very skilled crew, or it's maybe a choice that he isn't using coated optics in this case, something that I do love to use myself. But considering he's not using binoculars, he's not using the camera level, it is very likely that he's using coated optics in this case. So he puts one against the side of the Jagdpanzer 100. I'm not sure about the non-piercing or an APCR round, but it ricochets off. So now to be able to try and put around German tank destroyer. Another one blind. That's no problem. He's still got lots of ammunition left. 7 rounds is enough to do roughly about 3,500 damage to this tier 10 German tank destroyer. Looks like he's been seen. Yeah, sometimes you don't need your sixth sense to go off to know when it's time to pull back. Obviously, if the enemy randomly turns his gun to face you, then it's quite likely he's going to see you. And a great interrupt there. That was one of the last chances he had, and oh, the artillery hits him in the tracks. But interrupting the cap circle with only 10 left. At least Dis has secured himself, but I guess that's not going to be enough. Tries to fire to the side of the Jagdpanzer 100 there, rolling just high of average, 497 damage. Now he pushes forwards. Why is the Jagdpanzer not spotting him? Maybe the Jagdpanzer 100 has... Oh, he fires blind there. One thing we must highlight is that the Jagdpanzer 100, just before he went out of sight, had 1,200 hit points. So let's take a look to see how much health that Jagdpanzer 100 has when he reappears. But with another blind fire there, Dis now has to start to be a little bit careful. He's got 2 tier 10, well, 2 self-propelled guns on the enemy team to deal with, and his tier 10 German tank destroyer. But he blind fires a high explosive round that interrupts the Jagdpanzer 100, and I think it's going to flush the Jagdpanzer 100 out of his camping location. He fires another one blind, it doesn't hit, and there's the Jägeru, 725 hit points, meaning that